Oh. How doing are you, young squeaker? Greetings and salutations bestow upon you I do. What brings you to Yoda's humble abode? Oh, what is that? A bedtime story you would like? Well, better it is for your young feeble mind than Call of Duty or GTA 5. A child's young mind needs nurturing and positivity, not GTA or Call of Duty or video games, Let Yoda pick out a story for you, young squeaker. This will do. A perfect bedtime story Yoda has for you. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Once upon a time, in a great castle, grew up a young girl did, happy and contented. Very pretty, with long black hair she had. Delicate and fair, her skin was, so known to all as Snow White. Her stepmother, a wicked woman, powerfully jealous of Snow White, the path to the dark side. On the wall, mirror, mirror, loveliest in the land, who is the wicked stepmother? Asked the magic mirror she would. Snow White, loveliest in the land she is, and ugly you are, replied it did. Disrespected hard the stepmother she was, and acted harshly she did. A trusted servant the huntsman called upon she had, to take Snow White from the castle, to be left alone in the woods to die. Snow White, weak in the forest she was, so find her way back to the castle she could not. In the forest, forced to sleep she was, when lost she got, like savage animal. Come the dawn does, the sound of birds in the air, wandering through the forest, a cottage she would find, unusual and strange, with tiny doors and windows. Perhaps later, Rabbit Yoda might, very quaint it sounds, Wonder who lives here, thought Snow White did, as break into home she did. A felony committed she has. 7 beds, neat in a row there were. Make them dinner I will, Snow White said. Find a meal, glad they will be. But beauty, translate to culinary skills it does not, so ordered some pizza she did instead. At dusk, 7 dwarfs marched home they did. Arrived at their home, broken into it was. Pizza boxes found they were, and sleeping woman upstairs. Snow White told dwarves of sad tale, and agreed, the dwarves did, that stay home with them she could. Live here you can, in the mines we will work. Clean house you will, said the dwarves. Dwarves in the house, locked Snow White in there they could, so wander off like idiot she could not. The wicked stepmother, not long it took for her to figure out what had occurred. Enraged she was, the dark side, taken hold of her weak mind it has. Find Snow White I will, force slap her hard I must. As an old peasant woman, disguised herself the wicked stepmother did. Quickly found the dwarf's cottage she did. Approached the cottage, knocked firm until Snow White answered. With that, a powerful slap the stepmother gave Snow White, knocking her out cold. Completed her plan was. The dwarves returned from the mines to find Snow White wrecked hard. The stepmother, nowheres in sight she was. Her revenge completed. On a bed of rose petals, the dwarves laid Snow White. Suddenly appeared a prince dead. Dead Snow White is not, merely knocked out. Okay, she will be. With that, tossed Snow White over his shoulder like slab of meat the prince did, carrying her back to the castle, and married both of them were. The end. Well, like that story you did, young squeaker? Well, time it is for you to go to bed, yes? Off to bed you go. Nighty-night. Sleep tight. Don't let the force bite.